on Nova 100.
You've got Jase and Lauren, Clint here from the newsroom as well. Hey, speaking of which, Clint, a lot of time in your news,
Yes.
I hear you covering ramping.
Ambulance ramping.
Ambulance ramping is a story here in Melbourne.
Which, by the way, occurs when paramedics are made to wait at hospitals at the entrance because they can't actually admit the patient into the hospital because there's no room.
And I've got a mate who's a paramedic, and he was saying sometimes in his whole shift, he might only attend to patients.
Really?
Because most of the time he could spend 4 hours sitting there just next to the stretcher at the hospital waiting for admission, which is crazy. And that means the ambulance is just sitting in the loading dock. I experienced this firsthand yesterday. It was late yesterday afternoon. I had what I call 30 minutes of freedom. The missus said, if you want to get out of here for 30 minutes, I know you want to do some work on your phone, why don't you go up the street, grab a beer? So I went up to the East Boundary Hotel. Just on Centre Road there in Bentley. And as I turned into the car park, I noticed an elderly lady lying face down in the car park.
No.
There was a staff member from the pub standing next to her, and he was just making sure no cars hit her. And I quickly got out of the car and ran over to see if I could help. And
Was she on the road?
No, she was on the bitumen, but in the car park.
Oh, gosh.
And I've run over, and she was conscious. And I said to the guy that worked at the pub, who did an amazing job, like the staff at the hotel were fantastic. And he was sitting there, and I said, what's happened? He said, she's fallen, her hip's given away. And I've just rung 000. And I was like, okay. And remember, late yesterday afternoon, like about 5 o'clock, it starts getting cold really fast.
Yeah.
And thank God I had all these jumpers, the kids' jumpers and jackets and bloody all their school gear was still in the boot. So I've run over to the car to grab all the jackets, and we've put them over her to try and warm her up. I said, should we get her off the bitumen? He said, well, 000 said they're going to get us an ambulance when they can, but we shouldn't move her.
Yeah, because, I know it's such a tricky one, but you just got to do what they say because your instinct is to get her somewhere warm and into safety.
And this poor lady's lying there. She's crying in pain.
Hang on, you're saying when they can.
Wait for this. I said, when did you call the ambulance? And he said, I've actually been here with her for 20 minutes already. So I called 000 straight away because I could, like in the 2 minutes that I was there, I could see her breathing starting to deteriorate. And you could see the pain really setting in. And I've rung. I said, I'm checking on an ambulance. They've said, yep. They looked up the job and they said, yep. We're trying to get you one when one becomes available. And I'm like, do you have any idea how long? And they're like, we just don't know. And I'm like, well, she's been laying here for 20 minutes. The pain's increasing. Okay, call us back if anything changes. We hit the 45-minute mark.
Oh.
It's getting bloody cold now. I ring back. Again, 000, we're still trying to get you an ambulance. We'll let you know when one becomes available. Just under an hour, and the third time I called 000. And this is not the 000 operator's fault or anything like that, and it's not the AMBO's fault because they're going from job to job. Again, the third call, they were like, you're next on the list unless something else is a priority. We'll try and get you an ambulance. A couple of minutes later, so we've hit an hour pretty much. A couple of minutes later, an ambulance pulls into the car park. The ambo gets out and says, what's the situation? By the way, I'm alone. I don't have a partner.
Jeez.
So now it's this one.
The guy driving the
guy
ambulance.
driving the ambulance was the one and only person in the van. So thank God there was other people around and stuff. So we helped get her onto, one of those hard boards, and then we had to lift her onto the stretcher. And the ambo was doing a great job. He gave her the old green whistle you see on Bondi Rescue, and he was like, let's just get her into the ambulance. That way, she's off the bitumen. And we got her into the ambulance, and I left there, and he said, look, I'm going to not drive with her. I'm just going to give her pain relief, and we'll wait for another ambulance to come, which God only knows how long that would be. I left there so angry and so frustrated and thought, if that was my mum on the ground, I would be mortified to know that she just sat there in pain.
We should be mortified
Shocking.
regardless.
Mate, and she was in her 70s. She was deteriorating pretty bloody bad. Something has got to be fixed in this
we've got
state.
a real problem.
100% loss. Like, that's crazy.
The health system is under immense strain right now, and questions obviously need to be asked.
Absolutely. Like, and you know, we're paying our taxes.
Did he say why he was on his own, Jase? Though, like,
no,
is that because the resources weren't there?
He just mentioned we're so thin today. Because my paramedic mate has told me before when it's so dire. Sometimes they get people from the military to go with them as like the second person in the ambulance. At least they've got someone to drive.
Maybe that's what we need to do, though, because you can't be sending one person out and waiting an hour.
Loss. It was disgusting. It broke my heart for this poor lady, and she just kept looking at me, going, "But when's it coming? Like it's almost been an hour."
Oh, well, you must have felt so helpless.
Mary
Ann
Thomas
you guys were
is
there.
the Victorian Health Minister.
Well, Mary Ann has bloody questions to answer, let me tell you. I'd love to get her on the show. We'll reach out to her office and I'll see if she'll come on. But if anybody needed an ambulance yesterday, good luck getting one. It's an absolute joke.
And, you know, we see these ambulances all over Victoria and they've got writing all over them saying, you know, I'm from Bendigo, where are you finding me? And they're being found in Frankston and all over the place because our ambos are working so hard.
100%.
But, yeah, there's got to be a fix. It's not acceptable.
My mate sometimes will be doing like a 16-hour shift and then get dispatched to a car accident. And I can tell you now, everyone makes mistakes on no sleep. I don't want someone working on me if I've been in a car accident if they've been going for 16 hours. Like, that's when mistakes are going to happen.
Well, just last week, that same health minister had to dip into an emergency fund to help bail out hospitals in Victoria, public hospitals, $422 million. They pumped into hospitals at the last minute because they were just so sick. It's really
They need to
worrying.
fix it. We are, like we always say, you know, is Victoria in a good situation at the moment? Are we doing okay? We're bloody not. That was disgusting, and it's not right.
Yeah, that's
it really isn't. And but look, thanks.
Oh, well, good on you for helping, Jase.
No, the staff were on it. The
and
staff were awesome. They were there. They were all across it. They did a great job at the East Boundary.
And she's okay?
Yeah, like when I left, he said, "Look, she should be okay."
Stable.
When they put her into the ambulance, you could clearly see the poor thing's hip was just. You know.
No!
But you know, just seeing the elderly terrible. But yeah, and the ambos did a great job and everything. But the government, who's in charge, need to pull their head in. Here we go. Victoria's called through from Mill Park. Morning, Vic. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
We're good. You work as a nurse?
Yeah, I do.
So I can't even imagine how bad it is for you guys inside the hospitals.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like, it's awful for the ambos and everything, but it's also really awful for the nurses and doctors and people working in these crazy emergency departments and, you know, people waiting hours and hours and hours.
100%.
So are you seeing this firsthand with the ambulance ramping as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
How about no more wanky politician dinners and every cent actually goes into the people and healthcare in this country? Because
it's appalling.
Yeah, I'm really annoyed about it. Anytime you let you on the show, 132410 is our number. It's just gone 26 past 8.
Gonna be a good day. Jason Lauren.
Wake up feeling good.
On Nova 100.
Jase and Lauren.
Follow them on socials.